So I would say growing up, my faith was always influenced by kind of a combination of my dad and my grandfathers. All three of them displayed a lot of the same characteristics. It was always the want, the desire, and really the need to give back in whatever they were doing. You know, give back to their church, give back to their community, give back to the things that they felt helped them along. So I really feel like their faith and the faith that I saw in them was most often expressed by the way they interacted in the community, the way they felt they had to give back to the community, the way they were always involved with their churches. Those three men in my life, showed me that it was important to be a part of the church. It was important to be a part of the community. It was important to give to the church. It was important to give to the community. That was all part of their faith. We're all asked to tithe. We're all asked to give to God first before we even give to ourselves. That's the way that the Bible teaches it, but that's also, to me personally, it's a matter of saying, this money gets to get split up among so many different charities that I wouldn't normally, so many different activities and charities that I wouldn't, myself just be able to give to all of those different groups in any real meaningful amount. When I give to the church, I know that I'm able to help support and fund and sponsor so many more and different programs than I would have been able to on my own. So being a part of this church has been a part of being a part of the community to me. The church has impacted my life in more ways than honestly, I can't imagine my life without this church, without this congregation, without this place of fellowship. The number of ways that it's impacted me over the years, the amount of influence that it's had it's kind of a tough one to quantify. There's so many different points in my life where I can't imagine what I would have done without. When you've been around and a part of for as long as I have, it's hard to imagine, what would have middle school Wednesday afternoons looked like if I hadn't been a part of this church? What would have Sunday nights looked like if I hadn't had the senior high program, as a part of this church? What would my Sundays have looked like, the majority of my life without this church? There's too many experiences and too many, kind of moments that you really can't, it's hard to quantify what it would have been or wouldn't have been. This place, these people, it's hard to imagine where I would have done, what I would have done or how my life would have turned out differently. I can't imagine, I certainly would have been worse off having not been a part of. It's hard to imagine places where I would have been better off if I hadn't been a part of this, if I hadn't gained the experience and the education and the things that I've gained being a part of this church.